What if I told you one of the most unique Spider-Man projects ever made is about to hit live action and is not connected to the MCU at all? Because Spider-Noir isn't trying to be another friendly neighborhood Spider-Man story. This series is darker, grittier, black and white noir detective horror mixed with a superhero mythology, and honestly, it might end up being one of the boldest Spider-Man adaptations we've ever gotten.
This is the way. This is the way.
Welcome to Fandom. I'm your host Chris, and if you love Marvel breakdowns, deep dives, Easter eggs, and all things nerdy, you're absolutely in the right place. So hit that subscribe button. Your inner nerd will thank you. And make sure you click the bell icon too, because when you subscribe, notifications are usually turned off by default. So if you want to stay up to date with the amazing content coming to this channel, you'll definitely want notifications turned on, because today we're breaking down everything you need to know before watching Spider-Noir. We're talking the comics origins, the creators behind the show, why Nicolas Cage is perfect casting, how this series was created, the surprising production details, major characters, and why this show could completely redefine Spider-Man in live action. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why fans are so hyped for this series. So first things first, Spider-Noir is based on the Marvel Comics character Spider-Man Noir, a darker, alternate universe version of Spider-Man originally introduced in 2009 during Marvel's Noir comic line. But unlike classic Peter Parker we all know, this version exists in a gritty 1930s Great Depression era New York, filled with mobsters, corruption, crooked politicians, underground crime rings, and brutal violence. Think classic detective movies, think old school gangster films, think Humphrey Bogart mixed with Spider-Man. That's Spider-Noir. In the comics, Peter Parker gains spider powers after being bitten by a mystical spider hidden inside an ancient spider idol. Instead of becoming a colorful superhero, he becomes a trench coat wearing vigilante hunting criminals through dark alleys and smoky back rooms. And visually, the character became instantly iconic. The black trench coat, the fedora, the white goggles, the darker tone. It felt completely different from anything Spider-Man had ever done before. Now, even though comic fans love Spider-Man Noir, the character really exploded in popularity after Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That movie introduced mainstream audiences to Nicolas Cage's hilarious and surprisingly emotional version of the character. And somehow Cage stole every scene he was in. The over-the-top noir dialogue, the dramatic monologues, the black and white Rubik's Cube joke, the way he moved and talked like the 1940s detective. Fans immediately wanted more. And apparently, Sony noticed, because after the success of Spider-Verse, discussions reportedly started about bringing the character into live action. Now, this is where things get really interesting. The Spider-Noir series was developed by Oren Uziel and Steve Lightfoot. Oren Uziel previously worked on projects like 22 Jump Street and The Lost City, but Steve Lightfoot is the really important name here, because he was the showrunner for The Punisher, which honestly tells you everything you need to know about the tone they're aiming for. This isn't supposed to feel like a lighthearted superhero comedy. This is supposed to feel dangerous, gritty, violent, emotionally broken. Almost like a crime thriller first and a superhero story second. And that approach honestly makes perfect sense for Spider-Noir. The series was developed alongside the same creative minds behind the Spider-Verse films, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, and Amy Pascal, which means this project actually has some serious creative talent behind it. And according to early interviews, the goal was to create a version of Spider-Man unlike anything audiences have seen before. And yes, Nicolas Cage is officially back, but this time in live action. And honestly, this might be one of the most perfect superhero castings ever, because Cage already proved he understood the weird noir energy of the character in Spider-Verse, but now he gets to fully embody him physically. What's fascinating though is this version reportedly isn't Peter Parker. This show is using Ben Reilly instead, which is a massive change from the comics. And according to creators, they wanted a more world-weary, emotionally damaged version of the character instead of a younger, optimistic Peter Parker. Some early descriptions even compare the character's personality to a mix of Humphrey Bogart and Bugs Bunny, which somehow sounds completely insane, and also perfectly Nicolas Cage. The series follows an aging private investigator in 1930s New York forced to confront his past as the city's only superhero. And honestly, that premise sounds pretty incredible, because it feels less like traditional superhero origin story and more like an old detective trying to survive in a city that already broke him. Now, one of the biggest reasons fans are excited is the visual style, because Spider-Noir is leaning hard into classic noir filming. Shadows, rain-soaked streets, heavy contrast lighting, crime thriller atmosphere, and maybe the coolest part, the show is going to be available in both black and white and color. This is honestly such a genius decision, because watching this in black and white could make the series feel like an authentic 1930s detective serial. And based on the teaser footage we've seen so far, the cinematography already looks incredible. This doesn't look cheap. This doesn't look rushed. It looks cinematic, almost like Sin City mixed with Spider-Man. Now let's talk about the supporting cast, because there are some really interesting characters here. Lamorne Morris is playing Robbie Robertson, but this version of Robbie reportedly works as a determined journalist trying to survive in 1930s New York while dealing with the racial tension and danger of the era. That alone could add some serious depth to the show. Lee Jun-lee is playing Cat Hardy, who appears to be the universe's version of Black Cat, and from early footage she seems to bring the classic femme fatale noir energy to this series, which fits perfectly with a detective vibe. Then you've got Brendan Gleeson playing Silvermane, and honestly, that casting is incredible because Gleeson can absolutely dominate the screen as a crime boss. Jack Huston is reportedly playing Flint Marko, better known to Marvel fans as the Sandman. So yes, it looks like this series may feature twisted noir versions of classic Spider-Man villains. Now, this is the big question everyone keeps asking. Is Spider-Noir connected to the MCU? Short answer, probably not. At least not directly. This series exists under Sony Pictures Television rather than Marvel Studios, but because of the multiverse, technically anything is possible, especially after Spider-Man No Way Home basically blew the doors open for alternate Spider-Man realities. What matters more is the creators have said this is its own distinct universe. So don't go into this expecting Tom Holland cameos or Avengers references, or even Miles Morales. This show appears to be trying something completely different, and honestly, that's probably for the best, because Spider-Noir works best when it feels isolated, mysterious, and trapped inside its own grim world. And this is the part that honestly makes me excited, because superhero fatigue is real. A lot of projects lately have started to look formulaic. Same jokes, same CGI battles, same endings, but Spider-Noir feels risky, different, stylized, and when comic adaptations take creative risks, that's usually when we get the best stuff. Logan, the Batman, Joker, Into the Spider-Verse, those projects stood out because they committed to a tone and identity, and Spider-Noir feels fully committed to its noir detective atmosphere. The idea of combining old-school detective storytelling with Spider-Man mythology honestly sounds amazing, especially with Nicolas Cage leading the show, because Cage has this unpredictable energy where you never fully know what he's going to do next. And for a weird noir superhero detective series, that might actually work out perfectly. So before watching Spider-Noir, here's the biggest things you should keep in mind. Number one, this is not traditional Spider-Man. Don't expect high colors, quippy high school drama, or classic MCU-style humor. This is darker, moodier, more mature. Number two, you do not need to watch every Spider-Man movie beforehand. Knowing the basics of Spider-Man mythology definitely helps, but this appears to be designed as its own standalone universe. Number three, the noir atmosphere is the point. The slower detective pacing, the mysterious elements, the shadows, the monologues, that's all part of the experience. This show seems heavily inspired by old detective films and pulp crime stories. And number four, this could end up being one of the weirdest live-action Marvel projects ever made. And honestly, that's exactly why people are excited about this. But now I want to hear from you. Are you excited for Spider-Noir? Do you think Nicolas Cage is perfect casting? And do you want more darker experimental Marvel projects just like this? Drop your thoughts down in the comments and I'll be down there talking with all of you. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss any Marvel breakdowns, deep dives, reviews, Easter eggs, and all things nerdy here on Fatherly Fandom. So thanks for joining me, guys. Stay nerdy, my friends, and as always, I will see you next time.